Hi, this is Jason from Horrific Nightmares, and it's time for a controversial view. Today we're going to be talking about Hannibal. So, a little backstory about this, a couple backstories maybe, but Joe and I were watching this for Franchise Frenzy, and we kind of think the same sometimes. And a lot of times when we're watching a film, especially a film that we've seen a lot of times, we'll go back and check out facts about it or look things up. And we kind of came to this conclusion at the same time, I believe, that we should do this for controversial view. Why? Why Hannibal? Well, I'll get to that in a minute. The other backstory I have is when this came out, we were actually at family's house in New York. I live in Maryland, they were in New York, and the relatives that we were staying with, if I remember correctly, their kids had gone to see Hannibal. And of course, I was curious about it, but we were seeing family at the time. So I asked them how it was when they got back, and they said, it was okay. They changed Clarice Starling's character, the person who plays her. And I was like, really? Because I didn't really know much about it at the time. It had just come out. I tend not to watch trailers unless I've already seen the film, and I stay away from TV spots as well as much as I can, because I don't like to have anything spoiled for me. And that's probably the reason why I don't do it for you guys when I do reviews and stuff like that. So I was thinking about it. You know, this movie won an Academy Award, probably more than one. And even though they don't consider it a horror film, and I do, it was huge, especially for horror. So they're making a sequel where, I mean, that's big shoes to fill. Jonathan Demme directed the first one. Of course, this one is Ridley Scott. And part of the controversy, actually, is the fact that they recasted the main character in the film. Some people think it's Hannibal Lecter, and I'll agree with that, I guess. But in Silence of the Lambs and Hannibal, the main character is basically Clarice Starling and her rise and fall in the FBI. So it seems very odd that you would recast the main character and still walk away with a profitable movie, even though I do believe it was. So that's controversy number one. And that's kind of a small one. I know it irritated a lot of people, and I think a lot of the bad reviews it got in the very beginning was because they did that. Well, in doing more research, and I have to say, that's why I like watching movies with Joe so much, is because we text back and forth and we tell each other things that we know about each film, whether it's a controversial view or a franchise frenzy or positive spin or whatever. So he actually told me something that I did not know. And I went and I looked it up and I did my own research. But the research wouldn't have been complete without Joe. So I do thank him for that. And I do believe that this is pretty controversial. Apparently, Ridley Scott, who I think is a great director, I mean, Alien, Blade Runner, he's done some fantastic movies, absolutely fantastic. He actually rewrote the end of the film. Now, I had never read the books, so I wanted to ask Joe, who actually did read the books, well, what was the big deal? And he said a lot of people felt shortchanged about the film. And I still had the rest of the movie to watch. We were going to talk after the film. So I kept thinking to myself, shortchanged. I don't get it. Because I really like Hannibal. And so does he. How could they feel shortchanged at such a great film? And then he gave me an explanation. Because like I said, he read the book. For those of you who have not seen Hannibal, I won't spoil the ending, but what I will say is the book, having it explained to me from Joe, took a completely different turn. And I don't really want to spoil that either. Um, yeah, this is a tough one because that ending is such a big deal in the book that when it comes to the movie, I'm not sure exactly why they changed it. Did they change it in order to have room for a sequel since this was such a big moneymaker? Did they change it simply because he didn't like the ending and he thought that people wouldn't buy what he was trying to film? I don't know. But this ending change completely shifted the movie. And of course, I'm unaware because I never read the books, which I probably should have. But anyway, in hearing how the ending originally was in the book, I can honestly see why people really felt shortchanged in this film. And I'm not sure who thought it was a good idea to do this. Like I said, it could have been the fact that they wanted to make another movie because, money talks, right? And the way the ending originally was, I don't know if you would get a sequel as easy as you would with the ending of the actual film. And then Joe brought up another good point. And I'm kind of rambling. I'm going to wrap it up here. He brought up another good point. Why couldn't they have filmed the book ending as well and put it as a special feature on the DVD or the Blu-ray or whatever it is that you have? And I thought that was an interesting take. Let me know what you guys think. And don't forget to check out Joe's controversial view on Hannibal. Remember, guys, physical media matters. And until next time, peace.